Here I'm live. Just yet, probably. Now to friends. Public. There we go. Okay. So now we're live. No cool music this time, though. This is a pre-recording of Over the Edge, and I am Miki Hughes. And this, I think, is the first time we are going to have kind of a smooth transition into introducing our guest. As promised, I have Rocky Laporte from Chicago, and he has won the Last Comic Standing, and he is performing the next couple of weeks in Las Vegas, and he headlines all over the States. He's been in Thunder Bay a couple of times. I'm just going to bring him up here right now. So please welcome Rocky Laporte.
Hey, Mickey.
Hey, how are you?
Well, I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
Oh,
Thanks for having
good.
me on.
Oh, thanks for coming on. Thanks for having me on your podcast. I have yours at the bottom. So you can
Yeah.
support Rocky at patreon.com/Rocky Laporte. And how are
Yeah,
you
you'll be on this
feeling?
Saturday.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
I'm
on this Saturday.
excited.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
this
It's a
is
good
new for
show. It's
both
fun.
of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, when people pay to see your Patreon, I live this and then I'll just be streaming it later. So
They don't pay much.
no, they will. It's you. They don't know that you're out there, but you're here now, so more people will know that you're on there. So, how are you
Thanks.
feeling? You're in the States. Do you have a cough? Do you have a light cough? Are you?
Uh,
Do you have a headache?
should
Do
I
you have any?
check? Oh, you
Do you
want me to
have
check
any
right
COVID?
now?
Do you have any COVID symptoms? I'm assuming because you're in Chicago that one, you probably have a gun on you, and two, you may not be feeling well.
Yeah. No, you actually, I had to go for a COVID test today because in Vegas this week, they want everybody to come there with a negative COVID test to work there. They're being
Yeah.
really careful over there.
They're being
So,
really careful in the hotspot of the US to make sure that you're not bringing any more COVID in, is what
yeah,
you're
after
saying.
everybody in the world went there for New Year's Eve, they're worried
Yes,
about a couple of
exactly.
comics coming in, you
Are
know?
you are you concerned at all about
Uh,
catching
a
the
little
COVID?
bit because that is like, there's people there from all over the place, It ain't like you're going like to Iowa or, something like that. But yeah, it concerns me a little bit.
Yeah, and you're not going to a car show. You're going to stand on a stage in front of everybody facing you, and they're all going to be laughing and
Coughing.
coughing. And I'm just saying it. You might want to reconsider. You might want to. You know
Okay.
what? Maybe just make a few. Maybe make a few episodes first, just so that
Of
you can post them if you're not feeling very well for your Patreon.
Oh, there you go.
Like you
Yeah.
did with your intro, the intro that you have on your Patreon that ruined my life. That
How did it ruin your life?
you ruined my life. I love I really liked it. I thought it was very good. It was very entertaining, except for the stuff you said about turtlenecks.
Oh man.
You said no, it was a really good joke. I love the joke because you said you hated turtlenecks and you're really glad they didn't come back. And your dad said that if your friends told you to jump off a cliff, would you do it? And you're like, yeah, if I have to wear this turtleneck, which by the way is
Yeah.
kind of how you sound. That's my impression of you.
Oh,
Hey,
is that how I
I gotta
talk?
wear this turtleneck. And all of a sudden I was like hot because I was wearing a turtleneck. And I was like, oh my God, it's so like, am I not supposed to be wearing this? And yeah, so it made me question everything. And I called my girlfriend and asked her, I'm like, I wear turtlenecks. She's like,
Yeah.
I know, Mickey, you wear turtlenecks. I said, well, do you wear turtlenecks? She's like, no. She said, you look like you're 80 years old. I'm like, why didn't you tell me that not like I
Oh
shouldn't be wearing turtlenecks? I'm like, I have to learn from Rocky Laporte on his Patreon. I'm
no, they were big in the '60s, but
I
it's
never thought they were not. I like turtlenecks.
another time.
I should have worn a turtleneck. I'm not wearing
That
them
wasn't
anymore.
even a joke. That like my mother
I
used to
know.
make me and my brother. She goes, "Try to wear a turtleneck." I go, "How am I supposed to get laid wearing a turtleneck?" She goes, "You're not supposed to get laid. You're in fifth grade." I'm like, "I know, but I'm gonna be 16 pretty soon." I had my permit and stuff.
A permit and a turtleneck. There you go. Here you just, oh, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I'm really upset about that. But I'll
Yeah.
just have to go shopping. How are
Or just like
stripes?
wear them in the house or something like that where nobody could see, you know?
Is this a thing? I'm opening up the comments after. I want to know. No, I Googled it. It's shit. I shouldn't be wearing turtlenecks, but so I'll be, you know what? I'm fine. I'm over it. I don't even think
Yeah,
about
you
it
sure?
anymore. Yeah, that was in the past.
All right.
That was way
Okay.
back then.
You told me about this like three
Yeah.
times, so I think it got into your it sunk in pretty deep.
I'm going to I don't know, I'll journal about it or something. I'll get over it. It'll be
Okay.
fine. Yeah, it gives me anxiety. That's what the podcast is for. It's Over the Edge. It's a podcast about anxiety, which in your intro I noticed that you addressed with sort of a bit of what you're going through, and I love the advice that you gave about just sort of like how we're all in this together, and you know, and also what you said about we sort of owe society almost laughter if we've got a gift and if we're able to make people laugh. That's our job, and we should
Yeah.
be doing that. And I know that you get you feel good when you're doing it as well. You said it was really very therapeutic, right?
Yeah.
What do you say to your friends when they ever call you up and say, "Hey, Rocky, I'm feeling," or your kids, if they say that they're feeling stressed? What's your advice for them?
I said, let's put your turtleneck on and we're going for a drink.
we want we want your neck warm. That's
Yeah.
part of it. You have to check yourself, right? Are you hungry? Are you tired? Is your neck cold? Right? You
Yeah.
take care of those are the basics.
You know what I was even thinking about this though? Like even if you think even through history, like even during the Depression and like World War II and all that, like comedy was always needed, like comedy and music. Like they were sending comedians and like with those USO tours and over even in World War II, like and with Bob Hope in Vietnam and I went to Iraq with Drew Carey. I think in times like this when the world's in trouble, laughter's high on the list of what we need, laughter, good music, human contact.
Hmm.
And I think we got to be kinder to each other. I think everybody's a little bit on edge, and you want to strangle everybody, and you're driving aggressive. Like we don't need to do that. We got to slow down and help your brother and sister.
Yeah. Well, you seem like the warm center of the universe. You're always very calm. You seem very relaxed. How have you been through the pandemic? Have you had your moments, or
Oh,
have you been
yeah,
tested? Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Uh, Tested for what exactly?
I mean, tested. Wow.
Specific.
You're like, I
No, kidding.
literally just told you I had a COVID test. You are terrible. Why are you doing podcasts? This is
No,
maybe you
I'm
could
kidding. No,
write
I'm
stuff
I'm
down.
good actually. I've been tested. I'm negative. Yeah, I'm
No,
good.
testy, just because you mentioned road rage and stuff. And I find I drive a little bit more erratic. And, I
Oh,
cried a lot in March, but the second round of lockdown,
oh,
you guys are on sort of a lockdown right now.
yeah. Is there a test for road rage? Is there a
No,
thing?
tested. I don't know. Maybe that's the Canadian American thing, like how you call garden gnomes lawn midgets.
Yeah.
No, what are they again? I love it.
Dwarfs, dwarf.
Dwarf,
Yeah,
lawn
garden
dwarfs. I was gonna be like
lawn.
dwarf midgets. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the thing. Like, have you been tested? Like, has somebody tested? Tried your patience? Have you like been? I don't know how else to say it other than tested.
Um, you know what's weird? I think
Like,
when it first like I was actually in Vegas when it first happened, like St. Patty's Day weekend when everything shut down. And I think as a comic, it's like our jobs ended overnight. It was weird, We got there Monday, and then Tuesday the NBA, the Basketball Association, said we're not doing it no more. And then Wednesday, I believe it was the hockey league, the NHL, and then it just fell like dominoes after that. And it just got, I don't know, it just got weird, and then I remember when I landed back in Chicago, people were in the store and you couldn't get toilet paper anywhere. It was like so
same
weird. Like what?
here.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it was funny. Like I had friends, then finally when I could get some, I was sending friends of mine stuff it was a nice exchange program. Like I had friends in
Yeah,
Florida and in Nevada, they couldn't find toilet paper. So I was sending them toilet paper and they sent me like thermometers, like stuff that we couldn't get up here, you know? So it was like
that
a
was
nice,
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
Even during the Spanish flu, they had the good sense to stock up on like soups and canned goods, non-perishables, right?
Uh,
Now we're an advanced society. It was yeast because all of a sudden everybody decided they want to bake their own bread. It's like we're
yeah.
going down for a month. You'll be okay. You can still buy bread. And the toilet paper was gone. Toilet paper and paper towel. That's weird. If I thought the world was going down, that would not be my first thought.
What are we getting? Berry, that moose head? What do you guys got up there? What's the drinking can? Maple syrup? What do you guys
don't
drink?
don't come here and try alcohol because or don't come here and try beer because it has alcohol in it. That was
Oh, this,
based
isn't
on
it supposed to?
what we know on each other's countries, eh? So how is the windy apple there in
Yeah,
Chicago?
it's fine. Everyone says hi.
Yeah.
What do you guys drink up there? It's beer, right? Is it
Yeah.
Canadian molten? The
Molson. It
molten?
does good. It's yeah, beer. Everybody drinks. You got like I don't know. We're both involved in comedy, so we know a lot of alcoholics. But
Yeah.
yeah. Oh shoot, I hope it didn't freeze up again. That's I'm really glad I pay for the system. That's very nice. So what do you drink? What do you drink?
I'll just have a shot in a beer. I like tequila, once in a while. I don't drink that much, but
Nobody says that. I like tequila.
nobody says that I'm the only idiot.
No.
No, good. If you get good tequila, it's
I
good,
like
But I don't drink that. I drink about. You want to hear a funny story?
yes.
I really don't drink that much. And one time, a couple years ago, I was doing a radio station downtown, and there was a guy there from Scotland. He had like 100-year-old bottle of scotch, and he had the kilt on and everything. And then they had Jim Beam's grandson, and they had this high-end bourbon and rye and this whiskey. So it's in the middle of the day on a radio station. I had a show that night, and we're drinking shots. We're drinking shots, and I shouldn't have drove. Like I know that now, and you get real sentimental when you drink, right? You kind of get, So
Yeah, I
I'm
get
going,
suicidal, but yeah.
yeah. So I'm going past the cemetery where my family is, and so I go in there, and I'm praying and crying and all that, and I go to leave, and the gates are locked, and I'm like, oh man. And then my buddy calls me up on the phone. He goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "I'm drunk and I'm locked in a cemetery." And he goes, "What?" And I go, "I got to call you back." And I couldn't call the cops because, they would have arrested me.
Yeah.
So I'm driving around. I find this groundskeeper. I go, "Don't you guys like tell people, hey, like we're closing up?" And he was a typical Chicago guy. He goes, "Can't you read the sign? It says 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. gates close." So he let
Yeah.
me out. And here's how I knew I was drunk. I go, I got to get something to eat. So I went to some like fast food place. I got an ice cream cone and a hot dog. That's gross. Pregnant women don't even eat that stuff. Like it's like. So then the radio station found out, and they go, "Hey, how about every time you come back here, we'll get you drunk and send you out into the city and like a Where's Waldo? Like where did Rocky end up at?" But yeah, that's why I don't drink. I get locked in cemeteries.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, no, that's not why I don't drink, but that would I guess everybody has their rock bottom. I'm not judging you and yours.
Oh my God.
Like you don't know where it leads. It's ice cream and a hot dog. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna open up the comment section here just because I see people that are sending some up. And then if one catches your eye, then you can let
Keep
me
into the
know.
soup lady. Oh, that's funny.
What was that?
Let me go back to Chicago. Like, I'm in Chicago, you nitwit.
I didn't say. Oh, so when you go back to Chicago, I thought you were out of town. I thought like because it was a radio station and they saw you. So every time you were in town, would assume that you were just in a different place.
Oh, so he wants me to go back and get drunk again and have another adventure?
I don't know. I'm not really very good at podcasts.
Oh, okay. No, I was just reading the things here, and it says go back to Chicago.
Oh, you can see. Okay, you know this is really good. You can see the.
Yeah.
You can see them. I can't see them. Oh, I got you
Really?
live. Howdy. Yeah. Oh, because I'm getting them from like from YouTube and for. Hey, Rocky, you been to the zoo lately?
Yeah.
Yeah, locked in. Ron Knitsky's here. I think you know him. Yeah. Have
Yeah,
you been to
yeah,
the zoo lately? Is there a story there?
yeah, that's funny. And then the next one, you can't see these, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna actually put them over. I can see them now, but I'm gonna put them on the screen, I think, so that we can see them.
Oh,
I think so. So we'll see them there. I'll get rid of my fat head right there. Just 'cause I
yeah.
noticed people were writing stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The only weird thing is that I don't know. I felt like our jobs ended overnight. It was so weird, and I think a lot of comics go on stage anyway for it's therapeutic to us. You know what I mean? I think that's how we get out our angst or whatever. You know.
hmm So what did you do? I got a TikTok account and a YouTube channel. What did you do during
And you,
lockdown to get that going?
yeah, and yours took off. I was taking naps for 15 hours a day.
Anybody, I'll tell you, if you want to take off on a social media platform, now's the time to do it because everybody's at home, so they're just going to watch you. Plus, you're Rocky Laporte, so
Yeah,
you'll
you got like 19,000 followers. That's great, man.
a couple. It's nice. Well,
Mhm.
I mean, it's nice. It's not real. It's not real. That's the thing, though. It's not real like the social media stuff. It doesn't feel. It's
No, but they like
no.
those people.
Yeah, it's nice. I said I have a bigger deal with like single moms in the States.
Is that right? Yeah.
That's my main following, that and boys that are under 15. So that means that like in the Midwest of the United States, those women are looking at my life going, hey, that I want to see some more of that, which just it
Oh,
adds to the state that's America right now, which is crazy. Yeah. Are
well,
you
that's
gonna get
good
the
though.
va-
There's a lot of women down here that do shows like mom shows or like Monday Night Widow, you know, like because all the guys watch like Monday Night Football here, and all these women don't have nothing to do. So the women comedians will put on shows down here, and they usually sell out. They do pretty good, you know.
Oh, that's awesome. We do those online here because we don't want to get COVID and die. But
Uh-huh.
we I seriously, I don't know how are you going to Las Vegas for 2 weeks? Are you worried about that? Like
You know,
you
a little bit. I mean, I'm more worried about being on a plane for 4 hours with these people because now I heard that there's no more middle seat. Like they used to keep the middle seat open, and now they
Mhm.
don't. So I ain't crazy about that, you know. But maybe they'll let me fly the plane. I don't know. I'll ask them, see what they think.
Yeah, let me know how that goes.
Right?
Uh, You'll still be able to text because they won't have taken off yet. You
this, this is your pilot speaking.
just
Uh,
this is your pilot speaking.
yeah.
That's
You know
your
what I like? You ever hear those stupid announcements on the plane? They tell you to go in the event of a water landing. They're calling this an event now. Like you could buy
Mhm.
tickets to it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
oh really? Like, what should I wear? An event.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be flying for a while,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah, there was, oh shoot, I'm trying to remember his name. There was a tweet yesterday that went out from a Canadian comedian, and it was awesome, and it went viral immediately. It was the Canadian government's advising Canadians against travel so that we don't run into one of them.
Well, is that right? Is them being us? Is that what you guys are calling us now? Them?
Yeah,
Oh
calling it
my.
them. And I'm just going off of our episode. So I mean it might sound like I'm all over like just kind of
Oh,
mocking the States right now, but really it's just that I'm coming
that's
up with good ideas that I should have come up with when I was talking to you the other day when we are doing your Patreon.
that's fine. We call you guys
Yeah.
you guys.
Use guys?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
and we're
that's
them.
that's okay if you can understand if you can even understand what we're saying. That
A little bit. A little. One time I was when I was working up there, this guy he told me that he said he was out and out in a boat.
he wasn't
And
in a
at first I
boat.
thought he said a boat. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I asked him to clarify it. And then I thought he said a boot. He said, no, a boot. I'm like, that's what I said. And it just, I don't know. But yeah, he
Yeah,
was
no.
saying out and about.
Yeah, out in a boot.
Yeah.
Out and about. See, it sounds different to me. I don't know if I'm saying it.
Out in a boot. You say boot.
Wrong. Yeah, out and about. Does it sound like boot? Because boot sounds like boot, bout sounds like bout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So say say pen, like a pen and paper. I'm just
Like a
curious.
pen and paper.
Like what? Just say pen.
Listen, that's
Pen.
you guys.
I'm
You
not
need to
kidding. Say
learn
pen.
to talk more
Say
gooder, not me.
gooder. You say meatball, Rocky.
Meatball, Rocky.
Say crime family. Say
I can't say that without my lawyer present.
you're like, are you being
Plead the
racist
fifth.
now instead?
Do you guys have that up there? Down here, you plead the. That means you don't want to incriminate yourself. You could plead the fifth. I think it's the
Yeah,
fifth. I don't know.
I think you guys have more prisons per capita. Have you ever
Thank
been
you.
to jail? You know people in jail? You
I did.
probably, because we were talking about white collar crimes. So
You
those are
want to
people
know
that, so
something? This was
you put
actually,
people, non-violent people in behind bars.
yeah, this is actually a weird thing. About a week ago, a friend of mine told me that he was in prison with a guy, and the guy was from Cleveland, and I don't know how they got talking about comedy, and then he said that there's a prisoner in there, and he said his favorite comic was Rocky Laporte.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
don't
it's
doubt
good to
it.
know. Yeah, I'm big with the Department of Corrections.
Go-
Number
I am
one
huge
list.
with prisoners. Oh, my friend
Yeah.
Colleen asked if you were ever talking to a newfie. And Sean Gold says, forget about it. That's his.
Oh, I love those new fees. We went over there when we did just for laughs. We went through your whole country. We went from Newfoundland to Vancouver, and
Yeah.
they were really nice people.
They
They
just
like their beer over
apologized a lot. Ron says
there.
we just say we're sorry.
Oh, is that no? You guys, I love Canada. They always treated me well up there, and I've done that Montreal Comedy Festival a couple times. It's good. I just
That you mean just for laughs?
yeah, just for laughs.
I
What
love
did
it.
I?
Oh, we would do that. That Montreal Comedy Fest. It's a big deal. It's just for laughs.
Oh,
That was like me when I was talking about and starting comedy with talking to Rocky
oh,
Laporte, who won Last Comic Standing. Be like, well, I won a contest in Northwestern Ontario called Thunder Bay Comic Idol. Yeah,
very good.
no, you haven't. Yeah, it wasn't very good, but that's I
No,
don't
come
know.
on.
Yeah, got me into comedy anyway. So now I produce it because I'm that.
Because
Because I don't know,
why?
I find that being around comedy and being around comedians and green rooms, and I like the hustle and bustle and the full crowd laugh. I like the lights and I like the music. I just like the whole setup, right?
Yeah.
Like I love it all. Like I'll open or like host things, but that's yeah. I'd be like you get up and make everybody fall over laughing for an hour and a half and
Or leave and want their money back.
yeah, or hurt my feelings and make me throw out all my turtlenecks. So,
I had an
you know,
audience sue me one time for pain and suffering. How about that? That's a bad,
yeah, I
right?
don't first COVID, now this.
No,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. So you're handling the pandemic pretty well, pretty stable. You haven't gone off the deep edge.
Well, what? Some friends of mine, comics have always kind of been troubled,
Mhm.
and but I found more during the pandemic. Like, I lost a couple friends of mine to suicide, comics, and I don't know. I think some comics feel that if you know, comedy's like not our job. It's like who we are. I think a lot of people. It's like what we're here for. Do you feel that way?
Um, I do. I learned that. I walked into that as a sort of enlightenment where I started performing online and making videos. And I was really doing it for me for very selfish reasons. It gave me something to do, enjoyed, and maybe I was enjoying it, made me feel like I was performing. And then uh, I get private messages from people that say that I helped them because I made them laugh. And I think
Hmm.
I was in a lot of pain when I was making those. I was doing those just to get through my day because, and some of them, my face is puffy because I had been crying. And I've got these messages from people saying, "Hey, I love the fact that I was having a bad day and your stuff makes me laugh." And that just made me go like, "Oh, wait, what?" And I just started really, really going hard at it and enjoying it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of comics told me they write their best stuff when they're in their worst moments. Like that's when, Yeah, that's what Sean
Yeah.
put. Have to find the light in the dark. That's humor. That's true. You know. I
Hmm.
think. Do you know a lot of comics that I don't know a lot of comics that are like happy as shit. You know, like just over the top happy. A lot of it. It's like maybe when you're on stage or right. Like, what do you find? What
I
do you
do
see that?
until I get to know them a little bit better. And it doesn't mean that it's not like the sad clown, right? It's not like they're all depressed and they're all, there's these dark. But yeah, I find that it's the funny comes from tragedy. And if you can make that, and if you can make that funny, it takes a certain type of person. Like you can't make fun of something and you can't break it down into simple terms to make it humor unless you understand it. So if
Yeah.
comedy is tragedy and you can make people laugh and relate to a tragedy, it means you understand it. It means you get it. Now, how you handle it. So I lost a few friends as well, two suicides specifically,
Um,
comedians during this pandemic, and that's when I was struggling.
yeah.
And the help, they talk about free healthcare in Canada, but to get help here, I mean, I looked into it. They said it was going to be about a year wait. A year to talk to a psychiatrist. I mean, well, I'll tell you what, why don't you just check in on me and see if I'm still around every 6 months? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know how to handle that. So,
Put on a
uh,
comedy. This I do before I go to bed at night. I'll watch like comedy videos, like something because I can't watch I was watching like those murder mysteries, and I almost got away with it, and all that. How to whack your husband, like all those things. And I just go, you know what? I'm going to watch some funny stuff, and I think that helps a lot. It really does when you
what?
laugh.
Who
You're
do you
endorphin.
watch? Who are the comics that you turn to when you want to?
Look, I like Greg Hahn is a really funny guy. And you know what? There was this Canadian, I think he was from Montreal. His name was Sean Keane. He was he made me laugh. And a few weeks ago on my podcast, I had Jeff Rothpan, who's from Montreal. He's a funny guy. But I like everybody. Wendy Liebman's good, and Kathleen Madigan, and a lot of
Who's
people make me laugh.
who's your favorite Canadian comedian?
You.
No.
Oh
Oh, I
man.
thank you. Have you seen Thunder Bay Comic Idol?
uh,
He unwinds with James Corden every night. I get that. Sean Galt. He said
yeah.
comedians are aware. That's what Guy Dufresne. He's a friend of mine. Comedians are aware, so I think they're naturally empathetic. He's calling us empathetic.
I think we are. I think
We
people
might
are.
be
That's not pathetic. That's empathetic. It's a different thing.
empathetic. Robin Williams, Sean. I don't think he died. He wasn't depressed, and I don't think he counts as that.
No,
His
he
wife
did. He
has
suffered from depression for a long time. You know.
He did, except didn't he have Lou Gehrig's disease? Like his wife sort of tried to set everything straight after he passed away, that he was getting sicker and losing his mind, and that's what he couldn't handle. It was that he had a degenerative disease. That was
Yeah.
my understanding. That afterwards
Yeah.
he's like, no,
Said the
like
same thing about my uncle when he took himself out just to make it better for everybody. But
that's the disease, though. That's the thing. Everybody, that's it. And I'm very sorry about your uncle. And that's the thing with suicide is they're not doing it. They don't want to die. They want to stop the pain. And they think that what they're going to do is stop pain of those around them as well, because they
yeah.
genuinely believe that the world is better without them. That's what the problem is.
It's so
Right.
messed up. I think, especially now, during this, like everyone's trying to get help. They're trying to get through to somewhere. I actually think one day you're going to call like a suicide hotline, and you're not going to get through. They're going to put you on hold. They're going to go, press 1 if you want to jump off a bridge. Press 2 for a building. Like press 3 if you think it's like, come on,
It's a
And I'm not
4 week
making fun
wait
of
for the
suicide,
train.
huh?
Yeah, no,
You
it's a
want to step
four
in
week
front of a
wait for
train?
a train. Yeah, there's been, we will call you if there's any cancellations.
Yeah.
I am so proud of the comedy community in Canada as a whole, because I will tell you, before March of last year, like the suicide jokes were just like free reign. Nobody says shit now. And
Yeah.
sometimes you'll see something posted, you'll see a TikTok, and then it'll be gone. So if
Um,
somebody has I feel like, somebody messaged them and is just like,
so I
you
should
know.
have did these jokes in March, is what you're telling me?
No, these are funny. Like this is So that's what this show is sort of about. I mean, like make fun of it, talk about it. I've got I have a tattoo. That's my,
What is
how do I
that?
do this here? That's a tattoo. It is a semicolon. I really
Oh,
enjoy,
with
your,
punctuation and
oh,
spelling.
yes, it's very important to me. It looks like a little mustache when I go like this. It's
Oh, I got a
semicolon
question
project.
mark in my ass. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What is
Oh
it?
no, that's okay. It's a good thing it wasn't a joke because it wouldn't have beaten your ass. So I got the semicolon. It is in honor my sister-in-law passed away. So she is about 10 years ago, and it's she had committed suicide. So it's in honor of suicide and mental health and addictions awareness. So if you see somebody with a semicolon tattoo, it means you can have an open dialogue with that person because their life has been touched by it, and you're willing to talk about it. So
Oh,
if you see it on somebody, it means that their life has been touched, which I think really applies to everybody.
it's like a code, huh? It's like a
It's a
code.
code. It's when the semicolon is when somebody could have, when the author could have ended their sentence, but they chose not to.
Wow,
So it's profound,
yeah.
but it's also very meaningful. So yeah, do you have any tattoos?
Yeah, I got a couple. They're just stupid ones, but like once
What?
you get to a certain age, you don't care. When um, Brett Favre from the Green Bay Packers, I ended up becoming friends with him, and him and three of the Packers, they had Superman tattoos, you know.
Oh, cool.
So, huh?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Super
So I thought, oh,
Superman.
okay, they're all buddies hanging out. So about a year later, I'm on a beach in Hawaii. I was doing a gig over there, and I see about five guys in one day walk by with Superman tattoos on. And I'm like, how can everybody be Superman, you know? Uh, so if you remember the original Superman series, there was this little reporter, like his name was Jimmy Olsen, and he was always getting in trouble, and Superman was always saving his ass. So I went to a tattoo shop and I asked this guy, I go, do you remember the old series? He goes, yeah. I go, I want to get a Jimmy Olsen tattoo. And he goes, what? And he goes, I've been tattooing people for 40 years. He goes, that's the funniest thing I've ever. So I got a Jimmy Olsen tattoo. So I don't
That's
know.
uh
That's for
that's
me.
phenomenal. That
Thank you very much.
where's
Really
your
don't-
Jimmy Olsen tattoo?
it's,
Where do you put?
it's on my arm.
Oh, good. Oh, so it's so you can see it. Right? You didn't even hide it. You're just like Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah,
It's on my
you
arm.
can't see it. I have to pull my thing off, you know.
You know,
But yeah.
we'll take your word for it. I would just
Okay.
like I would just say like any tattoo at that point, and then I have it. Yeah.
The worst
Uh,
tattoo I ever saw, we were having a little contest one night. Me and all these comics were saying who's got the worst tattoo. And this really happened. There was this guy, Joe, he was from New York, and he said he did this on a dare, not even he didn't win money or nothing. He got a tattoo on his balls, and it says on there, it's tattooed, may contain nuts. You believe that?
that is a lot of pain for a joke. It must be a comedian,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
obviously.
It's a comedian. Normal
Yeah.
people don't do that. You
No,
know,
no, they wouldn't. That's, oh my gosh, that's horrible. That's,
that's yeah. I wouldn't even do that.
oh, okay. So you have the second funniest tattoo then that you can think of.
I guess.
Yeah,
You know.
I wanted to get a tattoo for a little while. I might do. I just don't know. I mean, it gets less funny the more I think about it. But I was thinking about maybe angel wings with the word angle,
Yeah.
like a spelling mistake in it. Yeah, because
Yeah.
you can tell a lot about people by how they tell you that you really fucked something up.
Is that how they
Like,
spell angel in Canada?
no, they don't. But that's the thing too. Like, and like when people like laugh and point, when they give you a jacket and be like, "Hey, let's go talk. Maybe you want to get that fixed or something." But I would just think it was funny
Oh.
because everybody would point it out. I'd be in a
We
world
had an
full of
angel that was like
Karens.
smoking and drinking. Like maybe one of his wings were broken. Just diving straight
Get
down. He's out of
get it?
control.
His wing is broken on an angle. No, like just very elegant, like in like a calligraphy writing. Right, there's something very very pretty that would be. So you're like, oh, is that a tribute? Is that a, oh, it's spelled wrong? And then
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Let me know
it's
when you get that.
yeah, I probably won't know.
John Nelson said I can totally see Mickey doing that.
Yeah. Oh, he's in Texas. He probably hope he's
Yeah.
healthy too. Yeah,
Wow.
there's that's another little COVID hotspot. Trying to see
Vegas is
here.
supposed to, because New Year's Eve and all the people that were on the strip with no mask, that place is supposed to get hot, like in, this week and next coming up, and that's when I'm supposed to be there for 2 weeks. So
Yeah, well, 14 days from New Year's, you'll
is
be
when it
you'll
peaks.
catch yeah, like you'll be there. You're gonna be there.
Mm. Then are you not
Yeah.
going to talk to me anymore after that?
I guess I'll talk to you. I mean, I'm gonna talk. This is
I'm
how I'm gonna talk to you.
listening.
I hope you're okay. I hope you pull through. Drink plenty of fluids.
And stay in
Go to
your
the
own country.
hospital. You go. Yes.
I don't even think we can't fly international even anymore, right? Like, do there
Yeah.
any planes coming to
You have
U.S.?
to
No.
quarantine. You have to quarantine though. So you can fly. You can't. But then you would have to like. Then you're in lockdown for 14 days. If you go to the States, like we've got a lot of Canadians right now flying to to Florida, Arizona. They're still like, we're just gonna live our lives.
You guys should
I
check
think
out Detroit. It's really nice this time of year.
you don't know
It's
much
like
about Thunder Bay. Thunder
it's like
Bay is the
Newfoundland without all
Detroit
the glitter.
without the Thunder Bay is like the Detroit of Canada. It's like the crime. It's like the crime, capital. It's yeah.
No, but I like Thunder. Every time I've come up there, people have been great to me. We did that. The Newfoundland, the club. What's that club?
I'm just gonna struggle
Finlandia.
with it. Finlandia.
Help me out with this one.
Well, you
Help
were
me.
booked to do you were booked to do the Finlandia. The Finlandia didn't make it.
I know that's what you
Yeah.
said. That's awful. I really like that
So
place. You know,
so did I very much. It's going to be apartments pretty soon. So there's still
really.
other venues. Yeah.
You should go in
There's
the
other.
hallways and tell jokes like your haunted place. you know?
They're like, this is a tradition.
Yeah,
Everybody
I'm
come
not
out here and
leaving.
laugh.
Yeah. I don't know. You know
Oh,
what, though? And I hope nobody takes that personally about, because, my nephew committed suicide. A lot of my friends committed suicide. So I'm not making fun of it by any means. But I
mm,
think what comics do, I think they attack things head on to make light of it. Because what are you going to do? Like, what do you know what I'm saying? Like, you can either, you grieve, but you try and make the best of it. It's like,
yeah. And maybe we're just wired a little bit differently anyway, right? If we're a little bit more depressed or prone to going to the dark places, we can come out because I think like tons of my material is from my drinking days. And like
yeah.
oh yeah, because you don't think, right? I mean, you're drunk. I didn't, and that's why I had to quit because every time I started drinking, I started going to very, very dark places.
Like
And it's
cemeteries. You
no,
ever get locked in a
no.
cemetery?
I told you, completely different rock bottoms. Like they were very different. At
What
one
was
point,
yours? You want to talk about it or no?
why? Well, I mean, I had so many. I was like, oh, that's my rock bottom. I can't go any further down than that. And I'd be like, oh, is that a sub basement? And I'd be like, okay, well, I can't go any further than that. And then there'd be a trap door. I'd be like, well, now that's
Oh,
the bottom. And then there'd be like a dugout under there. So it just kept. I would just drink and just to numb out, and then I would be numb. And I think that in men as a general rule, they get angry with the world when they get drunk and they can't handle their alcohol. Well, women hate themselves, and that's what I did. So I just turned everything sort of inward and would beat the crap out of myself. So yeah. So I mean, I gave it. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have survived the pandemic. I wouldn't have handled. I'm watching friends become depressed and get very reliant on alcohol, and it's hard. It's hard. So I want them to be able to talk about it.
yeah, well, God bless you. I think the good thing about your format and your show is that most people they don't want to, they want to hear funny stuff. They want to hear, but I think comics need a place to go to talk about this stuff because I think a lot of people assume that our life is just happy as, whatever. And
Hmm.
uh, it's just a ball all the time and you're going all over the world. I mean, I think we are blessed and we have a gift a little bit. Laughter is a gift, but I think you pay quite a price. It seems like when one side of your brain functions more than it's going to lack somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, well, that's where the sand clown sort of started. Was that story with the clown?
oh yeah, I love the. You know that song "Tears of a Clown" by Smokey Robinson?
Yes.
There's a line in there, and he said, just like Pagliacci did. Pagliacci was this Italian clown. He goes, I try to keep my sadness hid. He goes, laughing to the crowds, but in my lonely room I cry. And the way I heard the story when I was a kid was this guy went to a doctor like he was just so sad and he was grieving. And the doctor told him, he goes, you have to see Pagliacci. He's the funniest clown in all Italy. Like he makes everybody laugh. He said Pagliacci is joy. And then the guy tells the doctor, he goes, I'm Pagliacci.
Yeah.
So who makes the clown laugh, when the clown's sad,
Hmm.
Your show,
Yeah.
right? This is
Yeah.
good. No, this is
No,
good.
that's
I need this.
yeah, and I love that story so much. I just before I started the show, I had posted something on Facebook, and it was that I had made a phone call to my doctor, and I said, I'm not like suicidal. I'm not going under, or even circling the drain, but I need some help right now. And when I called my doctor, he said, yeah, he goes, but good luck with that. It's a year. And I
What did
thought,
you say?
one, he said, literally, he goes, good luck with that. He goes, it's a year wait. And I thought,
Oh,
well, one, cold. Two, how do I get on the list? Like, how would I do that? And is there any way to expedite it? And
yeah.
he said, you know what? He goes, we're all in the same boat. If you're sad, everybody's sad. We're all sad. It was very rough. I got off the
Wow.
phone with him. I was upset. I did get a follow-up phone call though to get on the list. So he did listen to me and he did refer. So I'll give him that much. But it was just very like, you know,
Like good
look,
luck.
Mickey, yeah, exactly. Like, good luck with that. Like you and everybody else. And then, he asked the question. I thought, he said, well, are you thinking about hurting yourself? And I thought, it's like, is that the only way? Like, if either it's an
I'm thinking about hurting
emergency,
you, you bastard. Like, I
exactly.
need some help.
It's like, and I thought about it. It's like going into the hospital. You don't want to wait in the waiting room, right? And you're like, oh, I need some stitches. I cut my finger, and it hurt, and my chest. I am having chest pains, right? So you want to, so they'll push you in a little bit more. I don't know.
Jesus. I
Yeah. So,
remember one
but
time. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh, sorry. I was just going to say, like, so when I had posted this, I got tons and tons and tons of feedback, mostly privately from people that said, oh my God, I didn't know that you were suffering. I was like, I thought it was obvious. I've been posting these jokes about dark places. And I thought it was so obvious that I had been struggling for so long. To find out that it was a surprise, I thought, oh, okay, it's just because I'm being funny, though. So that's
Wow.
why people didn't get it. So, right, it was a couple of weeks after that I started this podcast.
Oh, very good. You guys are
Mhm.
supposed to have great health care up there.
Yeah, no, we don't. We're
Down here, they just tell you go to a comedy club.
Yeah, well,
Feel
it's
suicidal,
great
you go to
in
a comedy club.
the sense that we're not going to have to pay for our vaccines. Like, it's so there's a lot of really great things, but I mean, people die on wait lists. So really, if you've got money and you're Canadian, you go to the States and you're looked at by a specialist, and you come back and your insurance reimburses you for what you're out. So basically, if you don't have money, you're in some trouble. So yes, I can
Wow.
go to the emergency room and I can leave, or you can have a baby, or you can do all these things, and it's not going to put you out. But I imagine right now with COVID, how many people would go to the hospital but they don't, because they don't have the coverage, or they don't want to. I don't know what the cost is associated with it, but there has to be a reason why
Yeah,
your mortality rate is 3 times higher than everybody else.
yeah,
I'm thinking, if I was looking after my family and that was my income and that was my savings, I'd be like, you know what, it's got this kind of survival rate. I'm just going to stay home and hope for the best.
yeah,
I could be
yeah.
completely wrong. That's just what's going
I
on in.
remember when this first came out, like I remember going to the doctor and I don't even know if they were testing for it yet. I don't even think, and it seems like everybody got sick this past year, like they've never been sick before. And I remember like I had a stomach bug, and what he tells me? He goes, well, there's something going around. I'm like, well, it's going around my ass right now. Like, so if you got something for that, that would be great.
Yeah.
One time I got knocked out, and he goes, "How long were you knocked out for?" I'm like, "I don't know. I was knocked out." Like who
Yeah.
tells you that? You know, I don't have the knocked out app on my iPhone
How
1.
long are you knocked up for? I don't know. I was unconscious. Julius Wilson says, "Do you know that Rocky is Stallone's son?" Oh yeah, you do. Do you ever get that? You get
Yeah,
that, Sylvester Stallone?
you know what a lot of people don't know? On my Facebook page, I have two. I have like Rocky Laporte, like my personal one, and then I have a Rocky Laporte comedian one. But
Hmm.
everybody said, "Who's that girl with you on your Facebook page?" That's actually Adrian from the Rocky movies. Talia
What?
Shire. Yeah, I was doing a radio station about a year and a half ago down in Miami, and her and her son were on there plugging a movie, and I was plugging a date that I was doing down there, and she was there, and I got to meet her. So I go, yeah, I finally got to meet Adrian, and she
Yeah.
was the nicest lady. So that's who's on
Did
my Facebook
how
page,
did you
Adrian.
recognize? How did you get her attention? What did you say? Were you
We were in
like,
the studio together. We were being
Adrian? Oh
the
no.
same time. Yeah. And you know what's so weird? I wanted to ask her about, because she was in The Godfather, she was in the Godfather movies, and her brother's Francis Ford Coppola, and Nicolas Cage is her
Oh,
cousin. Yeah, she's from a whole line of that, Hollywood. And I wanted to ask her about that. How was it working with Stallone and all that stuff? And she kept asking me about comp. She goes, "How?" She goes, "Do you ever get nervous when you're up there? Like that's so weird." She goes, "You're like on a tightrope with no, She goes,
hmm.
"Usually in movies, like if you mess up, we just reshoot the scene." And she was more amazed, like what we do. And I'm trying to get questions out of her. And then when I
Yeah.
was leaving, I love you, Adrian. And she goes, "I love you, Rocky."
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Oh, I love how you keep putting us in the same category. That's great. No, I love it. But actually, what do you notice? I'm gonna pick your brain then a little bit. What is the biggest difference for you between what comedy was and what it is now? I don't even mean between last year and this year. I just mean between even Last Comic Standing and now.
A
Have
lot
you
of
found it changed?
Yeah, I think a lot of the younger kids, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, I'm only saying it to answer your question. A lot of kids, they're getting real dirty. Like it seems like you go to certain towns and then they have themes. Like they go, oh, like we got to do like a rape joke. And like everybody's doing like rape jokes. And the next town, everybody's doing something about, I don't know, drinking beer through your ass or whatever. It's just like, and don't most comics aren't cheap. You shouldn't follow but it seems like that's what's happening in comedy right now. Like kids are getting really dirty. They don't care what they say. And that's weird because society's way the other way now with all this politically correct
Yeah,
stuff,
were you never like that? Like I've never seen
No, I've always been pretty clean, like because and that's what I try to tell a lot of young guys. I go, if you ever want to get out of like you don't want to work nightclubs your whole life. And being clean will get you TV exposure. Like I got to be on a Tonight Show and Last Comment. I got like a ton
I
of
love
TV
it.
credits. And when you do corporate gigs, like I flew to Hawaii like 3 years in a row, and they put you up in these beautiful places, and you get to do cruise ships. Like you get to see the world, and it's not a bad life. You just got to be clean enough for acceptable for people.
Yeah,
So it's worth the work, I think.
it is. Yeah. So you don't find that they're really taking your advice seriously
Uh,
or are
when
they?
I feel like I was talking with Louis Anderson the other day, and that's what he was asking me, and I go, he said, "What's the difference between now and then?" I go, "I remember when I was coming up, when the older comics were giving me advice, we would listen. Like we would go, well, these guys know they've been in the trenches, and I would take it. But kids today, they're like, yeah, thanks, pops. Like whatever. You try, you try and help your
Yeah,
brethren.
your brother, you're like, hey, and I'm Rocky Laporte. They
Uh,
all know who you are, though.
yeah, I
Of
got
course
a
they,
nice following after all these years, and I appreciate it. I feel blessed, and I love making people laugh.
yeah. No, I love it. And like I said, Thunder Bay loves you, and I hope that you do come back here soon. I had posted something about, that I was going to be talking to you tonight, and there was like, what, you got Rocky Laporte? And that's why I also wanted to open up the comments here and see if a lot of
Oh,
smiles, wows.
give it
Ron
a
Kaminsky
COVID
says
thing, and
thanks.
I'll come up there. Maybe
Okay,
I'll
and you
drive.
guys do it
Will they let
too
me across the border even?
in Chicago? Yeah, no, you can't. Wait, maybe you can. You might be able to for work, but nobody would go to the shows. I don't know. I figure we're about halfway
Is it
through.
that
Let's see
bad? I
what.
mean, is it the word's out that I'm that bad? Nobody would go to the shows.
No, 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 no. Oh, Jesus,
If
no,
you could come, I don't think people are going to show up.
because it's a pandemic. Because people would not want to get sick. Anyway, thank you so much for being.
Oh, that's funny.
I mean, why don't you come here? Nobody's going to come to your show anyway. God damn it. So, yes, when COVID's over, let's do this. We'll get you back into Thunder Bay. We'll find
I
a
would
different
love to
venue.
come back there. And you
Yeah.
guys don't have like in certain cities like Vegas, I think it's like 75 people they cap out at, and like Cleveland's like 50, and then some states have nothing. You're not allowed to gather in more than 5 or 10 people. What's it like up there? Or you,
Pretty sure.
huh?
Well, and in Vegas too, because you still get to see it. Like you still have your name in like big lights on,
On the
on
strip?
the sign. Yeah. So here, the alternative to that would be, I don't know. They could probably put your name on a chalkboard outside of a bar in Nipigon,
On the
and
sidewalk
maybe
and talk.
on the sidewalk. Yeah, and then it would be a, yeah, maybe 15 capacity. So if you did like 17 45-minute shows over a 2-week period, I don't know. Maybe it would be like Vegas. I'm
What
not sure.
about a
I
big
seem to.
hockey rink? Like the guy he could stand. I'll stand on a Zamboni, and you guys can be all around. How about that?
Yeah.
No, that
Oh,
won't work?
on the Zamboni.
Yeah,
I don't think. I'm pretty sure it travels in the. I'm pretty sure. Oh,
I could
you know
sit on
what?
a Zamboni and drive around the ice and tell jokes. Will that work?
Except that COVID spreads more in the cold, does it not?
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not sure. My screen's all freezing up and stuff here, so I don't know if is it freezing on your side as well?
Is that cold up there?
Is
No,
it?
I,
They're pretty much the same temperatures. I think almost the same temperatures as you. There's snow in Chicago right now, right?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. But you guys
yeah.
sometimes in the summer it goes up to like 3, 4 below up there, right? Where you're at?
It gets hot. It is so like hot summers, cold winters, extreme.
Really,
There's
Thunder
a,
Bay?
oh yeah. Like we don't, I was joking, we don't actually have polar bears here.
You
I don't know
have
why we don't. No, you
oh,
would have to go like to the Yukon. Like
what does
it's
seal taste like? What is? Do you ever have
okay,
seal?
that you would go out to Vancouver for that. That's
They
the
didn't have
other.
that at Finlandia. I thought I saw it on the menu.
You saw
Sealed
seal?
rubber.
They're they're protected still. They're like,
Oh,
have you ever tried Canada Goose? And if you have, don't talk about it. You'll get arrested.
is
There's
that right?
probably they're also protected.
Oh,
They're also assholes.
yeah.
They will mess you up. COVID spreads more indoors out of the sunlight, is what Julia says. So you got to go out in an open field, Chappelle style. Not sure if that's going to catch on in Canada. So apparently, yeah, let's do it. You could do the Zamboni thing.
Seal Labrador. You know
Yeah.
what's so funny? You guys, you know what's so funny? Like people's, I'm sure it's the same up in Canada. Like old people, like your grandparents, like when you get sick, they always have home remedies, right? Like did your grandparents, like you go, I got a sore throat, and they're like, drink some gas, and you're like,
Yeah.
what? Like what? What the hell's the matter with you?
Oh,
You know,
it's the
it's
elderly that took Thunder Bay out. That's why we had some people come down from Winnipeg from a hotspot. They went to the 55 plus center and they played some pickleball, and everybody got sick. So now we're in lockdown because of that.
really?
So yeah, so drinking whatever to get rid of a cold. It just seems like we don't have
There's a big sign up, no
the
55 and
safest.
over. You're not letting nobody over 55 in the Thunder Bay.
No, we thought it was going to be the kids that would, have parties and, kids in the States were having COVID parties. Here was a pickleball tournament. And don't ask me what it is because I still don't know. I'm just assuming it's a sport where everybody coughs all over each other because everybody got very sick very quickly.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
You know, it's weird. Today, I go, okay, I went and got tested because they wanted me to have a COVID test to go to Vegas. So I test negative, right? So I'm like, oh, good. So I go into a health food. You have Whole Foods up there?
Uh,
It's like a health
yes,
food store.
we also have half foods cut it
Yeah,
in half.
it's supposed to be like a healthy place, to go in
Yeah.
there. And so I get some stuff, and there's 2 huge long lines, and there's like about 5 people working. And I'm like, I go, what happened? Like, why is it so and they go, oh, like 8 of our workers got COVID, and we had they're working on a skeleton crew, a health food store. And I'm like, I just got tested negative. I better get the hell out of here, you know? So it's like,
Oh,
Jesus, yeah, yeah. A health food store gets COVID.
yeah.
How does that happen, you know?
And they're on a skeleton crew right now too, so you know that they're 24-hour cleaning.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And you know what, Mickey? I think this is good. Like I've seen a couple of your episodes of people you interviewed, and you know, before I think just comics can talk about, you know, how we were feeling and all that stuff. I'm glad you have a
mhm.
platform, you know, for us to do it now, you know.
Oh, I'm so happy. I'm really appreciative that you came on. I mean, this is it's just wonderful. So,
Thank you.
and you address stress as well in the Patreon in your introduction, and I really really enjoyed it. Well, I don't know, it was like maybe
Good.
about 20 minutes, half an hour, but I thought it was very very good. And you have a lot of
Thank
really
you.
great things to contribute, both comedically and um, and as far as advice. So you're making people feel good, and we appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, well, that's what we got to do. It's our job, right?
That's our job. Then we can just break down on each other's podcasts and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's
Gina Hubbard, what comedians do you both really look up to? Who do you look up to, Mickey?
hmm. I am
Besides
going
me.
to say, sorry, yeah. Other than Rocky Laporte, I really look up to. She's a local comedian. Her name is Lee Noyes, and she did the second episode with me. And she's just a wonderful, wonderful person. But she's hilarious. She kills it every single time she's on stage, and she can take a conversation from a level of advice and love. And then she can also kick your ass in the next sentence, and then she can break into a routine on the fly. She is absolutely. I love her. That's
Yeah, I
and I
saw
look up
that
to her.
interview. You did a great interview with her. Yeah, that's when
Yeah,
somebody like banging on a door in the middle of the interview, like some guy
yeah, it
was trying to break
was.
in your
Yeah.
house.
You see, it was a great interview, but really it was just facilitating Lee going on whatever she wanted to talk about. And I loved it. And I could listen to her talk all night. She was
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, I'm in Westport, and we had somebody going around knocking on doors. So that's what that was. It was somebody was knocking on the door. So I just opened it up. I said, "No, thank you." He said, "Okay." And I closed the door. That won't be in the Spotify version, I don't think. We
Oh,
might take that part out.
well, we gotta keep making people laugh. I think that's why we're here, you know? Like, right? I think that's what we're supposed to do, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So I'll let you fly here. Thank you very, very much for your time. I'm going to send you the link when it is posted on Anchor.
Thank
And
you very much.
yeah, I know for your show, what you do is you do like a favorite joke, right? You do it from another community. You do a favorite joke, and then it's kind of an homage to them. Can you do one of those for the end of this one, please?
Yeah, thanks for putting me on the spot. Um, uh, w- well, Rodney Dangerfield had a funny joke. He oh that Sean Keane he had a dark sense of humor. He had some dark jokes, but let's leave it
It
on.
can be dark here. This
No,
is
I'd rather leave on a light thing. Oh, Rodney Dangerfield said, you know, oh, it's tough being ugly, you know. You know, he used to talk like that. He goes, and he said he used to date this girl. He goes, this girl was so ugly. And then somebody in the audience goes, how ugly was she? He goes, when she went in the bank, she goes, they turned the cameras off. How bad is that? Like they'd rather get robbed than see this girl's face on a camera. You know?
She has a gun. Doesn't matter. Shut her down. That's awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here tonight. And
You're very welcome, Mickey. Thank you for having me.
awesome. I don't know. I don't know how to finish these things. I don't know how to play
I'll see
video.
you out in a boat. How about that?
Okay. We'll see you later. Out and about.
See you later, Mickey.